So there's a very interesting machlokes. Talk a little bit about what we talked about in the Shiur of Hagadah. There seems to be a machlokes on the Kabbalah. What was the state of Kalal Yisrael? What was the state of Kalal Yisrael in Tzis Mitzrayim? So the more known understanding is that it says that the Chitazim, that Kalal Yisrael had to leave after the Chitazim, the taste had to leave very quickly out of Mitzrayim. And then Allah said, Shiur of Rav Pinson, Allah is actually going to go out slowly out of the Golos, but it seems to have to come very quickly. Why? That's come very quickly. So it's brought down Nor Chaim, it's also brought down Chesed Avram, and it's also brought down Hagadah, Hagadah Mishin Agra. It's brought down many svarim that Kalal Yisrael was in a darga, that they were close, they were the 49th Madrega of Tumah. And if they would have waited one moment longer in Mitzrayim, they would have sunk to the 50th darga of Tumah. And if they would have sunk to the 50th darga of Tumah, they were never able to leave Mitzrayim. This is one opinion. The Leshem writes mamish the opposite. Leshem says that Chaburah doesn't. It's not the case. That B'shas Tzis Mitzrayim, Kalal Yisrael was in a darga that they were almost in the Madregas Chamishim of Kedusha. They were on the 49th level of Kedusha, and they almost reached the 50th level of Kedusha. Why? So it's in Pashto Chedek. It's very simple. Why wasn't this? Because if you look at the whole story of Tzis Mitzrayim, the idea of Tzis Mitzrayim was that the Makkos of Tzis Mitzrayim, in the story of Mitzrayim, was Shlavim. There were states of higher revelations, higher Geluim. And there's the Makkos generally are divided into the Tzachadash Ba'acha, which is the division of grouped into three groups. The first group reveals the revelation of Ani Hashem, that there's a Metzias Chaburah, that there's a Metzias of Hashem. They knew Metzias of Lakim, they knew Metzias Hashem. The second, which is the Yiflesi, the second Tzachadash, or the Shechin, which is the first Makkos according to Ibn Ezra, that you actually see clearly in the Torah that there's a Yiflesi, that there's a separation between Kalal Yisrael and the Mitzrim, is Ani Hashem B'Kerev Haaretz, like the Pasuk says. Which means it was revealing that not only Ani Hashem, Metzias Hashem, but that there's Hashgacha, that there's also Hashem's providence. Ani Hashem B'Kerev Haaretz. And the third group is Ein Kamani B'Chol Haaretz. That not only is it Metzias Hashem and Hashgacha, but it's also Achdus Hashem. And that's why in the third group of Makkos, in general, it's two Hafachim. It's two opposites simultaneously, like Makom Ha'arim Einim and Avida. There's two Hafachim at the same time, which is that it's a Shemayim Revuva. There's a concept that there's two opposite things happening at the same time. You must say that it's a higher revelation. That's something that actually contains this paradox, these two opposites. So not only Ani Hashem, Metzias Hashem, not only Hashgacha, but even Achdus Hashem, which means that the purpose of the Makkos was not only for retribution against the Mitzvah, but the purpose of the Makkos was to be there should be a bigger Gila or Lakus. So when Kalal Yisrael reached the Makkos B'charis, when they finally went through all the Makkos, they reached a Shlav that they were very close to Shar Chamishim. Where do we see that they actually reached Shar Chamishim? 50 days later, actually, after Yitzias Mitzrayim. When they finally reached Matan Torah, in Bayam HaChamishim, they reached the point of Chamishim. What is the darga? What is the level of Chamishim? So Chamishim, we've mentioned this a few times in the past, that the darga of Memtes is this Memtes upon Torah and Mentes upon Talmud. This Mentes is the Eitz Hadas Tevera, which means that's still a possibility of opposites. When a person is making a choice, if you're making a choice in Tumah, let's say a bad choice, but you also know there's a possibility to make a better choice. That's still opposites. Then there's a level, which is Shar HaMishin, which incidentally the Gra in Mishlei, the Kol Paul Hashem L'Manev, Hamrosh L'Yem writes that there's no Darga HaMishin by Tumah. That's called Paul Hashem, that's for positive. The Gam is Gemartim Yom Tes, is only Hamrosh L'Yem Ra. But the Darga HaMishin in Ra is that you're Boiche Ra with not a possibility of thinking that there's a possibility to change. You're so sunk, you're so deep in a bad situation, you're so sunk in your Tumah and your way of thinking and your way of being, that you don't see an alternative to your reality. So Shar, the 49 Madregas is when you're doing a bad choice, but you realize that you could do tshuva, you could change your way. The same thing also in your Boicher and Toiv. You choose good, but you also see the possibility you could be choosing Chas Shalom L'Ra. So there's also the opposites. That's Eitz Hadas Tevera. The Eitz HaChaim is when there's no other choice, there's no alternative, there's no opposite. You choose, you prepare in such a way, which is there's no possibility of choosing something else. This is the Darga of Darga HaMishin. What is that? That is actually what Kalal Yisrael reached when they reached Matan Torah, because what happens in Matan Torah? There's Choros, there's Cheres Ben Yetzer Hara, Paschas Masam, which means that they reached the Darga that there is no Yetzer Hara. And Kafalim Harkikis means that they reached a place where it's absolute. There was no alternative. That's Kafalim Harkikis means that they didn't see an alternative. Should we Makabal Torah, not Makabal Torah? It seems so absolute that if not, we're dead. There's no other option. This is what Kafalim Harkikis internally means. That the choice that we made, that we decided, and we said Nasam Initial became so ingrained and so absolute to us that we didn't see an alternative for the opposite. That's what Passover was a Muslim, and they had Chias HaMesim, and they were going to be immortal, internal, etc. This is what the Darga HaMishin that they would reach. So this is what the Leshem argues with, since it doesn't say clearly Kisari. It's Kisari. Huh? Steht nicht Kisari. Huh? Yeah. B'Shem Ari. B'Shem Ari. Kisari. Doesn't say. It's the book of Loyal Sameh is actually talking about Hagadah of Reb Shatz, and he writes B'Shem Ari, and the Chaslavon they write B'Shem Ari, but it doesn't say clear in the Kisam that we have Ari. It doesn't actually say this. Huh? No, Lashem Zakli B'Shem Ari. The Lashem says V'cha. This concept that says in the Orachaim that Kalal Yisrael and Madrega Memta Shari Tumah, he says Faket. No, maybe they're Memta Shari of Kedusha. They're almost on Shari Amun, which you see actually happened in Shvuos. What? Yes, yes. This seems to be a very serious machlokes. It's not just it's machlokes and metzius. It's an argument in fact. Okay, let's talk about why it's not so serious. But it seems to be a serious machlokes because you're saying either Kalal Yisrael was in a very bad state, or Kalal Yisrael was in a very high state. Where he meant the Shari Kedusha and almost in the Shari HaMishin of Kedusha, or he meant the Shari Tumah and almost Shari HaMishin of Tumah. And the answer is Takir. Both. What does it mean? Let's decide. So what does it mean? But then you say almost Darga HaMishin. It means it like this.
There's another Kedusha, then they were in a good state.
Yes, correct. So what was the state of Kalal Yisrael b'Shas Tzis Mitzrayim? There's another idea, there's another principle that this is Taka does say in Dari. That Dari talks about, and that's it's Mushish in the Medrash. The Medrash says that Yitzias Mitzrayim is Lakach L'Goy Mikarev Goy, that the Leidas Am Yisrael, the birth of Kalal Yisrael is by Yitzias Mitzrayim. Kalal Yisrael became a people by Yitzias Mitzrayim. In Mitzrayim, Kalal Yisrael was a Bechin of Ibur, they were like a fetus in a mother's womb. That's why it's brought down that the Korban Pesach is Rishon Krov, that you have to roast the Korban Pesach with the in a fetal position. That's what it says in Tzemach Tzedek, because it's similar to the way a child is. The way you roast the Korban Pesach is the way the child sits in the mother's womb. So it's Mechinis and Ibur. And Aritaka talks about that the Makkas The 7 halakas are actually processes through which birth comes about. And the dam is the blood, and these are all processes of like a child being birthed. There's a lot of noise and blood and sound. This is all the way a child is born, which is the process of Kalal Yisrael being born. Kalal Yisrael in the Midbar were already beginnings of Yinuka. They're already like a suckling, and that's why Moshe says that he's like a mother that he gives his mother milk. This is what the whole process of the idea of the man is. So it's a child that's becoming mature. And Ibu Yenika Moichin. And Moichin, the Darga of Moichin is finding where Kalal Yisrael enters into Eretz Yisrael. That's when we achieve real Moichin. And Moichin is Bar Mitzvah, Bas Mitzvah, or Chav Shana. That's really when a person reaches Moichin. Now, what this means is like this, that and you also see an interesting thing in this week's parsha, where it says Vayakel Moshe. So the Medrash, the Psikta says that the Vayakel Moshe is a tikkun for Vayakel Omo Aaron. That just like in the Chet HaEgel, the nation gathered together to Aaron. So Moshe, this is the only time in the Torah where, even though mitzvahs are given Shas HaKol Tzuzah, but this is the only time in the Torah where Moshe is giving a tzivur to do Tumas Mishkan, and the lashon is that he does a hakala. He's gathering the people. This is also a very interesting thing, is that Kalal Yisrael is very excited about giving Truma, about giving the Nidvas of Mishkan. Everyone's very excited to give all these things. That it comes a point where Mavru Hamla Aviyah, that the people the people that are collecting the material say that the nation is giving too much. They're giving excessive amounts of things. So Vayiru Kol Machana, Moshe puts a Kol Machana, say that you have to stop. You have to stop giving enough gems, enough jewelry, enough materials. We have enough for a Tumah Mishkan. Which is a very strange episode. What does it mean? The Mabul Aviyah, I mean, if you run a Moisid, anyone knows, Shat is, one day someone says, Mabul Aviyah, too much money is coming in, keep your money, you can't do anything with it. Okay, so you'll hold it for next year, the budget. But Mabul Aviyah, the nation's all excited, what's the problem? The problem is like this. This is the Nikud, I think this is one of the things like this. That Kalal Yisrael, the Vayotza Egel, when it talks about the Chet Egel, it says Vayotza Egel. The Egel almost came out on its own. The process of Kalal Yisrael coming to Aaron, Vayakal Aaron, that they gathered to Aaron, is that they had a mentality of a klal, not of yichidim. They had what's called a mob mentality. Basically, when people are not independent people, not individual people, they're still like children, and they're not mature, they can swing from 1 minute to a euphoria to serve Avodah Zarah, and the next minute they can have a euphoria and excitement to serve the Eibishter. Because it's not about the individual person developing his relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's the person is swept up, Lahavlo, a person can be swept up in, let's say, probably this oil, it's not really matim to say this marshal. Well, let's say you went to Shlomo's concert, and maybe that's the most matim possible.
His most kosher singer.
Yeah, mamash Kedusha Atari. You went, and the oil is singing, and all of a sudden they start dancing, and you're not into this type of music. But the whole oilam is as I singing, and the next thing you know, your mamash singing with everybody else. Why? Because when people come into a group, there's a collective, there's an aver of the collective that creates a certain energy. Let's say you go to a tish, you can do the same thing. You go to a tish, and all of a sudden everyone's singing good. You don't feel anything, but everyone's singing. You get swept up in the excitement of the klal. When it's about the klal, Moshe has to do a tikkun for this problem. The problem is that they're children. They're not really individuals that are developed. And therefore, they don't have individuality. They just become part of the klal, and they're swept up in this euphoria. So maybe talking to the Erev Rav was the original people that started to build the Chet Egel, but everyone got excited. It was a big tzchoik, it was a big joy, it was a big excitement, and the next thing you know, people are doing crazy things. Incidentally, this is the history of the human race. Unfortunately, we know this very too well. our history was an effect of this problem this 70 years ago, where a normal country with people thought were normal civilized people acted like animals, and worse than ever in the history. How could a normal person that ate with a fork and knife and walked his dog and went to the music and all of a sudden killed people in such a hitzach that's not shaykh and anyone could imagine, because it was a craziness. There was a craziness that was going on in the world, and people were part of this euphoria, this crazy, and people in this state do think this thing. So, Bar Avia, Moshe is saying, I'm going to do a tikkun for the Chet Hegel, and I bring Kalal Yisrael in the state of this collective. But I want it to be nidvas ruchoi. I want div lev. I want every person to give from their heart. I want people to give from their heart. What happened was.
So Sam is because the Malbim who Omlovi, by Yikolim, the Om got of the
Yeah.
And the missing Yud of the Nisim, because they only gave after singing, and everyone else gave.
Yeah, the same thing like that. It's not going to tikkun. Miyod dom is dayom, that they took from their hands and became dayom, which means that Moshe is doing a tikkun for this idea of this thing, and he's saying now we're going to channel the same energy of the klal, we're going to move it into another direction. But the problem is Marbul Lavia is that Moshe is saying that I need, if someone throws money, it's like when someone, if you're, let's say, a person that's collecting money, I don't know why you should collect money, let's say you have to collect money, you come to the person and you say, by the way, I have an amazing project, you have to give me money. The person says, okay, here, take money, I believe in your project. And then that's one type of person. The other person says, my door is open, you can take whatever you want. When the door is open, you can take whatever you want. It's not a relationship. It's not real. It's not you're giving because you think that I have a good project. You're thinking because you're loose with your money, because you don't know how to hold on to your money. Bible Avia Moshe is saying it's malachas ha'yadayim. It's enough. I need you to give nidvas rucha. I need your individuality. I need you to give emes, pneumistic. I need you to really give. And this is why this original machlekes that we said about the machlekes on Kabbalah, where the Kalal Yisrael is in the level of Memta Shari Kedusha, almost to the Shari Nun, or Memta Shari Tumah, almost to the Shari Nun of Shari Chamishim. It's actually not a machlokes. It's really, they weren't individual people, they were in a collective, and they can swing. One day they can actually make an idol, and the next day they actually can go Marbul Avia, they give all the money to the Eibishter. What's the tachlis? What's the kavanah? The kavanah is actually that we should actually have a personal relationship, and it shouldn't just be because everyone is excited about it and everyone's not excited about it. That's why we go according to the mother of what's going on in Boro Park, and people are excited now about this, and we're all excited about this. And tomorrow everyone's excited about something else, we get excited. You have to read what Mashfil is saying and exactly what's happening. This is where we're feeling that energy. Maybe she wants it, we should have it. Every single person should have an individual.
So what was the purpose of Moshe making the Yakalas?
This is a tikkun for that type of craze. And in that state,